Good day, everyone. I am Izle and Gapa, a student researcher from University of Southern Mindanao, Cabaca, North Cotabato, Philippines. So, I will present to you my research study in which entitled Drop Interest, Generation Z Students, Demotivating Reasons and Gradual Dislike of Sports and Recreation. Generation Z students, or as the Generation Z, often known as the new generations, they are the first called as the digital native. Wait, di ba? Hindi ko lang i-post ko lang. Good day, everyone. I am Izle M. Gapa, a student researcher from University of Southern Mindanao, Cabaca, North Cotabato, Philippines. So I will present to you my study entitled Drop Interest, Generation Z Students, Demotivating Reasons, and Gradual Dislike of Sports and Recreation. Generation Z, often known as the new generation. They are the first called digital native, in which there was a familiarity of technology. As CASI 2021 states, this generation has been a stage of having many factors that contributes to their mental health, physical health, and emotional health challenges, as this generation dubbed as the loneliest generation. When COVID-19 pandemic happened, Gen Z students are totally engaged in technology as they lose their interest and to have gradual dislike in participating sports and recreation for a variety of reasons. Includes the impact of social media, the behaviors, and the attitude towards learning physical education. In this study, it was used a qualitative design using phenomenological research approach. Also, the in-depth interview has been utilized in gathering data, like the formal interview, in which the material used was the camera and the voice recorder. Also in the study, use a verbatim transcription to categorize the gathered data of the respondents. To examine the transcribed data, it was used also the data reduction, data visualization, conclusion formulation, and the verification, and also the validation and triangulation. So for the result and discussion, for the table 1 themes, core ideas of Gen Z students disliking sports and recreation. For the theme 1, no exposure to sports and recreation since childhood, in which in this generation, they are experienced having no experience in participating sports and recreation as they have this shy personality. Also in the theme 2, the growth of technology and the internet have made sports and recreation less appealing in this generation. Sports and recreation is really less attracted to them because social media is prevalent in this generation. Next is the theme 3, in which the reduced physical interaction brought by the pandemic further limits their ability to participate in sports and recreation, in which pandemic has been have a big impact in this generation to communicate and to have interaction in participating sports and recreation. Next, for the theme 4, misperceptions about the health advantages of sports and recreation, in which this generation experience easily get tired and having a skin problem, also as being asthmatic and experiencing shortness of breathing in participating sports and recreation. And then in the theme 5, participation to sports and recreation is exhausting because as the participant states that this field is not really well suited for them and also having a weak immune system. Next is for the table 2, in which the theme and core ideas of Gen Z students difficulties in performing sports and recreation that will affect their feelings. So for the theme 1, Gen Z place a higher premium on academic subjects than on sports and recreation. So in this generation, they are prioritize their academics than engaging in sports and recreation, in which it is really natural for them to feel difficulty in participating in sports and recreation. Next, for the theme 2, students found difficulties in acquiring basic skills of sports, in which they are really not physically active and they are having a difficulty in learning the skills. So in the theme 3, students lack the necessary fitness and flexibility, in which this generation is really lacking flexibility and difficulty of having a proper fitness. So for the last theme in the table 3, the themes require ideas of students' possible ways to get back their confidence in engaging sports and recreation. So for the theme 1, peer mentoring in sports and recreation. In this generation, they really need someone to encourage and motivate them to engage in sports and recreation activities and also participating with friends or families. Next, for the theme 3 is the limit spent on devices and social media, as well as they will, in this generation, they are really need to take time to relax without gadgets and minimizing amount of using their phones or in engaging in social media. Also, for the last theme is the increased awareness and benefits in sports and recreation participation. So in this generation, they really need to find ways in expanding their knowledge and in sports and recreation through research. So, for the conclusion of this research concludes majority of the students have lack of interest in learning and participating sports and recreation. Problem arise due to the students' low participation and other priorities. Also, it concludes technology and social media influence students to be physically inactive due to their addiction in online games. Also, as it was mentioned by the participants, majority reasons researching and digging information of sports and recreation will help them to learn slowly but surely and acquire skills in a proper manner as what sports and recreation provides as the benefits. And also, this study concludes that the demotivating factors for Gen Z students' dislike of sports and recreation generates considerable problems and difficulties in studying sports and recreations, and in which this is due in part to a lack of interest and technological improvement that makes sports and recreation less appealing and cause conflicts with Generation Z students' active participation. So for the recommendation of this study, Gen Z students should participate in a different league games that will conduct by the SK of their barangay. Also, Gen Z students need support by the parents through planning and active outing in recreational activities to play games. And also for the third recommendation, Gen Z students should engage sports leagues like basketball and volleyball that SK official will be conducted in the barangay that will limit their attention on using gadgets as they enjoy engaging a healthy physical activities. And lastly, teachers will be introduced the basic skills by sending demonstration videos that Generation Z students will know the importance and benefits of physical education. So that would be all. Thank you.